Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and so far we have all of the information for the Mega Evolutions that are going to be in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and looks like there's going to be 20 new Megas introduced and whatever form Hoopa gets. So I'm going to go and do those over the course of 2 videos. This video is going to do half, and the next video is going to do the other half, because I think 10 is enough for one video, especially with all the information that we have now. So let's just start off by looking at Glalie, Mega Glalie. And it's interesting because Glalie's stats have always been hilarious to me, that just 80 across the board, and then the Mega does try to make use of that, but I'm trying to figure out the direction here. Because the thing is that the attack goes to 120, the special attack goes to 120, and the speed goes to 100. A lot of even non-Mega Pokemon can outpace with this attack and special attack with that speed. So the problem is, like, it feels really awkward as some kind of really sweepy kind of Pokemon. However, it does give you the option of being physical or special, and it does have the refrigerate ability. So it gains a really good ability that's going to work really well with the typing. It puts you in a decent speed tier, and then it can make it to where, you know, if your opponent mispredicts, you can hit them with a really hard special attack or a really hard regular attack. I could also see it being a really good Pokemon to baton pass into, that if you can give it a speed boost, some kind of offensive like a Swords Dance or a Calm Mind, you can make it play however you need to on your team, and you can really catch your opponent off guard with it. I don't think it's going to be incredibly popular, because the stat gain really isn't amazing because the base stats weren't really there to begin with. Like, it didn't get 60 or 70 points into attack or speed or anything. Just kind of got a nice little distribution, and if you play your team around it and you really like the way that Mega Glalie is, I think it can work really well. Also, a lot of people are talking about, yo, Explosion Refrigerate Mega Glalie being so strong. Also, for all you guys that are wondering, I will be doing individual guides of each and every one of the new Megas, so don't worry about that. Next up, let's go look at Steelix into Mega Steelix. Mega Steelix gets the Sand Force ability. Very interesting ability. I'm wondering how it's going to really work with that. Also, Steelix does get a really good boost to the stats that matter. It doesn't care about special attack, it doesn't get any speed. It gets 40 points into attack, 30 points in defense, giving it some of the highest defense in the game, and then it also rounds out its special defense, which kind of was a weakness for it. So overall, you know, I think it's going to have some potential, maybe even like singles sand. Doubles is going to be a tough call because there are a lot of really strong doubles Pokemon, but what I really like about it is it reminds me of the Crystal Onyx. The anime had one of those crazy Pokemon. I thought it was really cool. So it kind of brings back to that, and it's more of a nostalgia thing for me. Also, I could see it being just a strong Pokemon in singles as a wall, potentially getting some usage in doubles with that Sand Force ability. Next up, we have Mega Beedrill. Oh man, Beedrill got all the stats that mattered. It dropped 30 points in special attack just to only get points in attack and speed. Like, this is one of the most outrageous stat gains for any Mega. 60 points into attack, 70 points into speed. Pokemon wanted to make this Pokemon viable, and I think they really worked. That adaptability is going to make it hit like a truck, and I've already done a guide on it, so check that one out when you have the chance. It's just going to be a very powerful Pokemon. Looking at the stats for Pidgeot and Mega Pidgeot, it's also fairly crazy to think about this Pokemon, that Pidgeot's a really, really fun Pokemon. I really like just a nostalgic Pokemon from way back in the day, and I like that it's going to get some viability now. The really interesting thing is that the Mega form is going to be pretty much completely special based. That's not gaining any attack, and it's only gaining special attack and speed, also some defenses, which make it really interesting. That's 65 points in the special attack, no guard ability, and getting 20 points in the speed. So it's kind of sucky because it's still going to get outsped by Greninja and probably out KO'd, but everything else is looking really solid. That no guard's going to make it to where Hurricane and Heat Wave won't miss, and you can probably play around that pretty well. So I think it's going to become a pretty solid special attacker, really interesting Pokemon to use, and I'm gonna have to see how people end up running it. It's going to be a very tricky Pokemon because now you're going to be susceptible to Thunder and Stone Edge. But overall, if you can get that outspeed and land like a really strong Hurricane, it could kind of be like a sweepery Machamp that has like a lot of speed or something. Next up, we're looking at Camerupt and Mega Camerupt. So Mega Camerupt is going to be crazy strong, it looks like that. A 140 special attack with that Eruption, if you can put him on a Trick Room team, that's going to be very solid in doubles. Also has the ability Sheer Force, so you have a lot of options from there, both with like physical attack and special attack. Its speed means is nothing, so you're going to have a tanky Pokemon that looks like he's going to make a very strong home in Trick Room. Now, I do like Numel just a bit more as an idea, but Camerupt does look like it has a lot of strength, so I would pay attention to Camerupt. I think it could get some good usage. Next up, we have Sharpedo, Mega Sharpedo. I feel like Mega Sharpedo could have just been a little better. I think that they put a little too many points into the special attack, but overall, it still looks like a very solid and strong Pokemon. That the attack gets a really nice buff, that the speed gets a good buff, and you're going to be able to have that, if you don't Mega Evolve on the first turn, you just go and use Protect, you're still getting the speed boost, then you Mega Evolve, Strong Jaw. So now you're getting a boost to your attack with all those like bite moves. Ice Fang and Crunch is going to be good. Waterfall is still going to have Stab. You're going to have a good amount of attack with that. You're just going to get a really strong hit that's going to be really fast, and your speed, you know, it's going to be able to keep you up. Also, it did get a nice little boost to defenses, so it might not get one hit KO'd as readily as it does, and you still have some options from there. So I think we're going to see some good play out of this Pokemon. It's going to be a really nice sweeper with the way that its abilities sync up before and after Mega Evolution. I think this is going to be a good one. And this is the Pokemon that I had a lot of hope for. We have Mega Swampert now. Mega Swampert is going to be... It got the right stats. I was hoping that Mega Swampert was going to just, you know, not lose too many points. It got 40 points in attack, so that's a huge physical brawler. Got 10 points in the speed, which means that that's just enough to where you don't have to invest anything into it. And Swift Swim is still going to make it very fast in rain. Has great defenses, and overall, you know, 10 points in special attack. It could have gotten more, and that would have been worse, but overall, I think Swampert, you know, Rain Team in singles, Rain Team in doubles even, like, it's going to have a lot of power with that 150 and almost untouchable speed, only weak against grass, and incredible amount of bulk. Ah, man, there's a lot of ways that you can run Mega Swampert, and I think that it's going to be an excellent Pokemon. It's going to be that, you know, bruisery kind of Pokemon. It's going to have mid-range bulk, it's going to have a huge amount of offenses, and even when Swift Swim isn't up, it's still going to be able to take a hit and dish out a very strong hit. When Swift Swim is up, it's going to be a sweeper that's going to be like a 2-3 hit KO. It's going to be good. Like, I'm excited for Mega Swampert. And then we have Mega Sceptile. Mega Sceptile also got a nice little bit of changes that make it pretty strong. That its special attack is at 145 now, its speed is at 145 now, and it's a Grass Dragon type. So that means it has two forms of stab. It's going to be incredibly fast. And it's also going to have a lot of strong hits from that special attack. Lightning Rod ability also is going to give it some potential play in doubles. That it has that like the quarter damage from electric type attacks with that Grass Dragon. So Lightning Rod really doesn't give it any kind of defensive advantage, but it can be really good to have to just help out your allies, or just play it up that if you have a Pokemon with Discharge, use Discharge. Lightning Rod is going to give you even more special attack. You have a ridiculous amount of speed, and you play to that in doubles, and you can make it work very well. Or you switch it in singles on electric type attack if you have a water type team that, you know, if you have that high weaknesses to electric, just switch it in, eat that hit, and now you're going to be able to sweep through the rest of your opponent's team with effective ease. Okay. These Pokemon are very strong that I'm looking at right now. Like, Mega Metagross is also another thing. It's going to be terrifying that because its attack and defensive stats were so high that it was actually able to get a really nice boost to its speed and special defense. So now it's going to be this ultimate wall tanky Pokemon that has 110 base speed while also getting the Tough Claws ability. So just add 30% to its attack. All of its moves make contact anyway. You're going to have Ice Punch, Zen Headbutt, Bullet Punch, Meteor Mash. You're going to have pretty much everything making contact. So your attack is going to be incredibly absurd. Your speed is going to be very good. And then your defenses make it to where you're going to be a 3-hit KO Pokemon, even without much defensive investment. It's going to be scary to have to face a Mega Metagross. It's going to have to be scary to face most of these Pokemon. And I think that it's just going to be very fun. And then lastly, for this episode at least, Mega Slamence. Mega Slamence, kind of like Mega Metagross, that it didn't really gain too much offensively because it already had a lot of offensive stats. It kind of got rounded out with the speed, with the offenses, and then got a good amount of defense and special defense. It also has the Aerolate ability, so it's going to finally have some form of super strong flying type move, as well as a good amount of stab from that dragon. It can also play mixed really well, and I think it's just going to be very strong. That you can probably just go with Draco Meteor and then a full physical set. Again, I'm going to be doing guides of these Pokemon, but I see some good potential. Unfortunately though, I don't see Salamence being the strongest. That with all the other buffs a lot of these other Pokemon receive, I think Salamence, he's just better. But he's not incredibly better like some of these other Pokemon, so it's going to be interesting to watch. I think Salamence is still going to get play, but there's a lot of potential just in this video alone, and that's only half the list. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So far, we have a lot of Mega Stats, and I hope you guys have a nice day.